if you've been following my channel for a while, you would know that I've been buying and selling cards on COMC very regularly. I've been buying cards in China on CardHobby and selling in China while I was living there. And I've just recently moved back to the States, and I have opened an eBay account for the first time to sell cards. I haven't, most people who have been selling cards regularly, like I have been on eBay forever. I've just gotten on eBay and started buying and selling within the last 5 weeks. So this video, I just wanted to share with you how my first month, really 40 days, because I'm making this a little later than I originally wanted to, how my first month of sales have been going on eBay, share with you, just some of the numbers and some of what I've been learning about the platform. Because I think it's helpful for me to be able to kind of consolidate my learning. And I think for other people, it's good to, see it, even if you've been involved with eBay for a long time, I'm kind of seeing it with new eyes. So perhaps there's some useful little insights here and there that, I'm getting based on my new experiences. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to dive on in. All right, so we're looking on the Sellers Hub here. I'm hopefully gonna, blur out anything that's sensitive. I don't know how much sensitive stuff there is on here. So you can see here, I've got 70 feedbacks so far. So this all started on April 10th, I think it was, and this includes some buying and then now mostly selling. The beginning was I was buying stuff mostly just to get some feedback on my account so that people would know this was a real account. And once I had, I don't know, 5 or 10 feedbacks from buying, then I went ahead and started posting things for sale starting on April 10th, I believe was my very first day I posted things. And you can see over since that time, I have made sales of $2,239.99. So these numbers are before any of the eBay fees. So of course, 13.25% plus 30 cents per card get taken away. Plus a few of those cards were also promotions. So that's that. And then of course, I spent money. So it's not like that's all profit. And $114, which is about the first 30 days was right about that number as well. And then so you can see, I think this number here, $341 per 7 days is pretty close, maybe a little less than what it's been on average overall, but generally that you can see there's certain days that there's just a bunch, usually that's because there's, one more expensive card and then maybe a couple other smaller cards. And then these ones are usually a handful of smaller cards. I think I have probably more cards that are in the eBay standard envelope range, $20 or under than I do cards over that, but I do have a mix of things. Nothing super expensive at the moment, I don't think. I can't remember, maybe a few things. So you can see, in a month or 5 weeks rather, I have a click-through rate of 1.1%. I don't have a comparison point for other people. I think that this is pretty normal, but I'm gonna, I'm sharing this as a new store. I don't know, once you've been established for a while, I don't know if some of these numbers go up. Listings, page views, 3,300, sales conversion, 3.2%. So if you have an eBay store, let me know. I don't know for sure how this compares to other things. 83 positive feedbacks in the last 30 days. I think 120 something total. Of course, I'm sure you know this if you're on eBay, but if I got a bunch of feedbacks from one seller, it only adds one here, even though it will add 10 here or whatever, however many it is. So this is kind of the basics. Now let's start to dig into some of this stuff. So you can see based on this amount of sales within the last 30 days, and we'll just focus in on the last 30 days. It's pretty similar to the first 30 days, so we'll just say this is the first 30 days. This is about the same. So you can see that I had about $1,800 in sales, and then from that, the taxes and fees collected. This one doesn't matter too much to me. And then the selling costs, so this is all the eBay fees, including shipping, labels, and all of that stuff. So this, of course, the total sales includes the amount I make from the shipping, and then this that gets taken out in the selling cost. But you can see that once you take out the amount that they take, then I'm down to $1,200. So this is a pretty big gap. I'm making a video right now. I don't know if it's going to come before or after this, looking at the actual, percentages that eBay takes, how it works, and comparing it to COMC, which I have a lot more familiarity with. And you can see, they take off in this amount of money, they took off this much. Now, a lot of that is shipping. So it's like that was already paid for and everything too. So I wish there was a way to kind of calculate that out. But anyway, and you can see I've sold 106 cards within this period, so an average sale price of $17. So again, I would say probably on my average day, it's about 75% of the cards that are being sent by eBay standard envelopes or so. Not always that consistent, but about that. And you can see here, I'm mostly doing fixed price. Every once in a while I'm doing an auction. I'm kind of one of the ways I'm thinking about auctions is because there's, I have a starter store which I have 250 free listings. And I figure, if I can sell something by auction, it's not going to count towards one of my new listings for the following month. So occasionally I am doing some of these just so that I can make sure I can keep getting my 250 free fixed price listings each month, and then still have some other stuff coming and going. Eventually, not too long from now, I'm probably going to upgrade to the $22 per month store. I'm just kind of, taking it and getting the most I can out of my $5 a month account before I upgrade to the $22 a month account, which I will be doing over time. The way I approach it is kind of organic. I want to make sure I make the most out of that $5 a month, have made some profit. I can funnel some of that profit that I made from my $5 a month store back into some of the supplies I'm going to be using to upgrade. A thermal printer. I don't have that yet, so I'm cutting and taping a lot of my shipping labels and stuff like that. But I want to make money from my store to pay for those kinds of things. Scanners, feeder scanners, and things to kind of pick up the pace over time. I'm going to get all that, but I want to make the profit in eBay and then feed it back into eBay. It's just kind of how I'm approaching this, since I'm not in a rush. I am right now at this moment, since I just moved back to the States. I don't have a job yet. I'm applying for lots of work, and this is actually paying for my life costs right now as we're getting settled in, which is kind of cool to have, this kind of like part-time eBay job that I'm doing right now, paying for my costs. I'm doing sports cards. I actually have a second eBay store. I also opened it around the same time. It's kind of buying and selling like thrifted things and garage sale things. I'm just doing all of this right now while I'm applying for jobs. I have an interview tomorrow, and I'm just kind of this is just kind of how I'm supporting the family until a job comes my way. And that's fine. I don't mind. We have a little bit of savings or whatever, so it's not such a rush. But this is a fun way to kind of try to not eat into the savings as we look for work. So you can see I've got 96 buyers out of 106. So I don't have a lot of return buyers. I have four here, four repeat buyers. So I am hoping that's gonna come back. I'm just learning how to use things like, you can send off coupons to people, to encourage them to come back. So I'm kind of experimenting with that sort of thing now, because I do want to take the most advantage of the different opportunities, the different options that eBay has. So we'll see how I do with that later. I'll update you on kind of what I'm trying in different areas later. You can see there are some different categories that I've sold with, and this is why, at the beginning I was selling sports cards and some of my thrifted stuff on the same page, and I was like, no, this is going to get messy. So I opened up a second store, and you're allowed to do that on eBay. They kind of connect the stores, so the listing limit is connected between these two stores. So I've actually, because I'm putting certain amount of stuff up on my other eBay store, I have less free listings I can do on my sports card store, which is fine. It's just what it is. So that's some of the sales of these other categories, is because early on I was doing it all on one platform until I cleaned it up and opened a second store. So you can see here, the I kind of wish it was possible to separate out the total sales without the shipping included, and without the all these other things, because those are not going to me. I mean, I guess with the shipping you do make a little bit of profit on it, because they charge however much they charge, for not including standard shipping. You don't make any profit on the standard shipping, but on the other one, if they've charged, I don't know, $5.25 or whatever, or $4.75, eBay only takes $4.13 or something. So you actually make 50 cents to a dollar or something on the shipping, on those kinds of cards as well, which is interesting. But you can see here, and then let's just take a quick look here on what are the cards that I'm actually selling, just because it's kind of fun. So you can see here, it's mostly basketball, because if you've been following the channel, that's mostly what I have. This is a Jalen Green photogenic rookie. This is a Anthony Edwards red fireworks. So we can just look through here. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander Hyper Prism. That was a quick flip, actually. Some of these green floods, red floods. Ken Griffey Jr. rookie. Some Trey Young, Damian Lillard rookie, Herbert rookie, Tyler Gentry. I've made so much money from this card. I keep buying this card and I keep selling it for more than I buy for. I've done that, like, I don't know, maybe 8 times, this particular Gentry rookie. Bowman prospect auto. Some green floods. So I don't know. You probably can't see too well on the screen. There's that Jordan card. This one just sent off today. Works in progress. Scotty Barnes. You can see that the prices over here. So you can see, these are just some of the cards. So a decent amount, mostly basketball. Hey, there's my Santa Claus card out of 50 sold. That's funny. Glad somebody got that wanted it. I bought it for like 75 cents, so I was happy to get rid of it. So you can see, I'm selling pretty regularly. So I've gotten to a schedule. When I wake up in the morning, I get the kids ready for school. I take them to school. I come home. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I package all the cards that I've sold. Those are the 3 days I do that. and then I send them off. And then I also take pictures. If I'm basically doing 10 to 15 new listings per day. I'm down to 10 now so that I can send off, do another five to the thrifting one that I'm doing, and those ones take a little longer. Sports cards are pretty quick to post on eBay. The other one, it's like everything's a different size, a different weight. I have to figure out the comps, so it's a little bit more complicated. So the thrifting one, I'm uploading about five per day onto that other eBay store of mine, and because it just takes a little bit longer. So I do that, and that basically in my mornings finished with all this stuff by, I don't know, 10:30 or 11, and then I searching for jobs and doing other stuff after that. But it's been kind of a fun way to kind of learn what are the possibilities of doing this. I can see how if I was to pick up the pace, it wouldn't be too hard to turn this into a full-time gig, I think. As long as you have a good source of consistently getting inventory. My way of getting inventory has been kind of unique, buying, from the Chinese auction site. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that more seamlessly, because I can do it. I have been doing it still, but it's still been hassle the way that I'm doing it. So I'm trying to learn some different ways, and my wife and I are figuring out some different ways that we can do it with a little bit more pace, so that we might be able to pick that up and do it more regularly, because it would be fun. I'm kind of trying to figure out if I can make it at least a part-time work kind of experience, and kind of, instead of working a regular 9 to 5, maybe I can work a part-time job elsewhere and a part-time job here and kind of combine them. So kind of trying to figure out if that's realistic. And I don't know, I'm feeling like it is based on the sales that I'm having so far. Of course, the amount of the amount of sales here, the amount of money I'm bringing in, net sales is this. And then I would say on average, I'm making a pretty good margin, just because the cards that I'm buying are pretty cheap when I'm buying them in China. I can just, a couple cards that sold today. I sold like a Reggie Theus auto for $45. It's a PSA DNA, and I bought it for $10. Some of those other cards, in there I had bought for $2, and I'm reselling for $15, just because of the differences in the Chinese market. There are differences in the supply and demands, so I'm finding the spaces, and I'm able to make a pretty good margin. So I would say from that, I would say I probably put in costs of maybe $600. So I've made about a $600 profit. So again, it's not enough to support a family. This number might look like, oh, I'm getting closer, but when you look at the actual profits, it's probably about $600, which is not anywhere close to supporting a family. But at the same time, it's a great little side gig for the moment. And when our costs are low, when we've just shifted here and we are just settling into our new house in the next few weeks, we haven't been paying for any kind of rent or anything yet since we got here. So our costs are low. So we're kind of, we're using this just to ease our way in. But I could easily see scaling up on this could work. So I might do that. I mean, I'm not a risk taker, so I'm not going to necessarily do that unless my family's in a situation that is not going to cause any kind of problem. But I could see doing that over time, and I'm kind of gradually working to that. So anyway, that's it for this video. I just wanted to share with you my first month of sales on eBay, and I'll keep you updated, pretty regularly with the different things I'm learning or different things I'm doing with my eBay store, and as well as I'm going to be continuing on COMC and on some other places as well. So anyway, that's it for this video. Check you in the next one. Peace.